Good morning, Michelle. Thank you for giving me your time this morning.
My pleasure.
Okay, it would be really useful if we could start off with you giving me a brief overview of the organization.
Sure, it's a family business with 80 staff, tried and tested technology, but not cutting edge. We're based in Cambridge.
Hmm.
Most of our customers are from the National Health Service, a couple of sales in Ireland, and a couple of sales in hospitals in Germany. Our turnover is around 2 million.
Okay, that's really useful. Thank you for that. Now, during our morning discussion, I'd like to talk over maybe a couple of things. It won't take too much time. Typically, maybe only 4 or 5 questions.
Yeah, 4 or 5 questions. Sounds like my kind of audit.
Okay, great. You already given me a nice description of the company as it exists today. My first question would be if I wasn't come back here for, let's say, 3 years, what do you think I would see different from how you operate today? For example, like, are you going to be in the same location?
Oh, yes, probably still here. Might have expanded into another building. 3 years, let's see. Probably, well, I'm sure we'll be making the same traditional product. As I say, it's not high tech, but it's affordable and it has a good track history record and it's very attractive to the National Health Service. We also have a 3D titanium printer and we make non medical products. And we see this as a big opportunity to embrace this technology moving forward.
Hmm. What about your customer base? Are you looking for new markets or territories?
We've had some good feedback from the Baltic states, so we may well pursue a partnership in that region. We have CE marking, so it makes sense to stay in Europe. And what with implant tourism being ever more popular, with the National Health Service waiting lists increasing.
You mentioned 3D titanium printing. Can you explain a little bit more?
Yeah, sure. We've had certain customers inquiring about whether we could make 3D printed custom medical devices.
Hmm.
And so we're looking into this. We're looking into a big range from partial cranial plates right through to dental crowns and bridges.
Okay, that's great. It's certainly there's going to be like a degree of innovation in the future then.
Well, the management team do recognise that there is limited growth potential in this conventional product, and some of the members are keen to pursue this area.
And finally, if I can ask, do you have any targets for financial growth?
Yes, with our traditional product, we're targeting year on year annual growth of around 10%. With the 3D printing, what with it being new technology, we need to educate our existing customers or potentially look for some new ones. Um, but we are an innovative niche market, so we reckon there's going to be some good potential there.
Thank you for that. So let's summarize quickly. Your goal over the next 3 years are that you are likely to be here in Cambridge, but also I think you might need some space, additional space. You still be making your traditional products, but will add 3D titanium printing into your portfolio. And you will be looking to keep and leverage your existing customer base, but also be selling into new territories. And especially in this case, you are targeting the Baltic states and hopefully making year on year, of course, above the inflation financial rewards.
That sounds like a good summary.
Okay, so second question. You clearly have the vision or like strategy laid out. So what's going to make it happen?
Well, that's a very good question. As a management team, we got together and we published a set of objectives in pursuit of our goals. Um, would you like to see them?
Thank you for the offer, but for a moment, just maybe you can talk me through them.
Yeah, sure. Well, firstly, we need to keep our existing customer base, which means keeping them happy. So we've appointed a new key account manager to do just this. We've also installed Net Promoter. Have you heard of that?
Well, yes, I've come across it in other clients.
Oh, good. And have you found that they find it interesting and is it beneficial?
Well, I can't comment on any individual clients, but generally speaking, it's quite popular. And so I guess it must have some like a benefits to it. I imagine it's like any other piece of the software. So some people think that that's great, some benefits it, but other believes that it will like being like well stopped like using it within a year. So let's getting back to the subject. You are telling me about your objectives.
Oh, yes. So I was saying, first we're looking to retain and leverage our existing customers. It's a reliable product with good feedback, and we reckon there is still some growth potential in this existing market, and we'll keep the profits and somewhat put these towards funding our other goals. Second, we have contracted a facilitator. She's in Croatia and she's going to be looking for potential new clients. And if this goes well, we could be asking her to look for an EDC as well.
EDC?
Oh, sorry, European Distribution Centre.
Thanks. What about 3D printing goal? It seems like that's a whole new area for you.
Well, not quite. We have actually been going for a couple of years, but not with medical products.
Oh yes, you did mention that earlier.
The objectives here are a bit softer. First, we need to see if there's a viable market and possibly look for new investor capital. We'll be making custom made medical devices, so we will need a change of our current certificate. The way we've approached this is by setting it out as a project, and we've appointed our senior design engineer guy to be the project manager, and he'll be bringing on new team members as the project develops. In fact, would you like me to see if he's free now?
Well, actually, I'll be auditing design later on, so this might be something I can talk about with him.
Sounds good.
Okay, can I ask, do you have the current the resources to achieve these objectives? For example, the headcount, the knowledge, or the facilities?
We're pretty much there. As I've already said, we've hired a key account manager and a facilitator. We had a management review meeting last week, and we've gone through our objectives, and the department heads will come back to me, I think, by the end of the month with a resource plan.
That sounds great. Well, I did promise only a few questions, so this is going to be the last one. What do you think is going to be your biggest challenge in meeting your objectives? Is there anything that keeps you awake at night?
Well, we have quite a loyal base with the National Health Service. So long as we keep up the good customer service, delivery targets, and stick to the prices we've agreed, then this is fairly low risk. If we get partnership in the Baltic region, that would be great. But if it's taking longer than anticipated, it won't be too much of a worry because the investment is in this area quite low. The area that does require the most investment is the 3D printing. And this is something we've got to watch. But we have the technology and we know how to use it. There will be some changes to the current certificate, but we have a very strong regulatory team in place. Now, the biggest issue is going to be keeping our name out there fast enough to grow the customer base before we run out of capital. So we may have to invest in an advertising agency to help with the social media presence.
Okay, thank you. So moving forward, I'll be using information that we've shared throughout this assessment. As you know, the assessment plan includes me going into a customer service, design, QA, and regulatory. So I may be touching on these topics again when I'm in those areas.
Excellent. Let's hope they tell you the same things I've told you.
I'm sure they will. Do you have any questions before we end?
No, I don't. In fact, I found that very useful. Thank you.
Okay, it's about time to go to design now. So I hope you see in the closing meeting.
You will indeed.